Okay. So I'm just going to dive straight into this topic because, I actually procrastinated. I'm going to be straight up. I procrastinated for probably like half an hour. I watched an interview on London Real with Grant Cardone. I watched this other weird, really cool animated thing on YouTube. I mean, I was just procrastinating. I went down the portal of YouTube, the portal of, hey, I'm going to watch somebody else doing something instead of myself getting in there and doing it. And, it's something that I have struggled with from the start with doing YouTube, especially. And I want to obviously come on here more and put more content out. It just seems to be always the hardest thing for me is putting it out there and, doing the number one thing you shouldn't do, I guess, on YouTube, which is read the comments. I'm very grateful because when I started YouTube, I probably had 90% the red, the thumbs down, the hate, and I didn't post for like 2 months. It was a long time because I let it get to me, and you know I learned after that. Okay, don't read all of them. But I sometimes go through them and look, now I get lots of positive feedback and that's great. It's amazing. But it's always the comments. I mean, isn't this interesting? You always remember the negative comments or the people telling you can't do something. I mean, me personally, I always think about that one person that says you can't do it. And that's all that's in my head. And this interview I was just watching with Grant Cardone, like he's saying it's like he was coming out of rehab, and what he would remember is the guy saying, "Oh, be satisfied. Like just be satisfied. Be satisfied with not drinking. Be satisfied with not taking the drug today. Like just be satisfied." And that stayed with him. His in like even today, I mean, he's talking about it in an interview, right? He's talking about like it just echoes there. So every time you're going to go do something, it's there, the negative voice. Like we get attracted to the negative. We get attracted to the fear. We want to stay small. We're trained to stay small. So if you stay small, then you're never going to get out there. If I listen to the hate and I listen to people's stupid comments, then I'm never going to do this. And I just did a post on Instagram. If you don't follow me, it's Sarah Social _. I just did a post and I don't know, it just really just, it really hit me. And this, somebody said this in a workshop or something around these, similar to what I wrote, but it's like, you're not living your life or living it out just for you. You're living it out to inspire the start of someone else's journey. And if you don't understand that, like, I find it really sad because I'm still realizing how important it is to be fulfilling that, to actually be putting myself out there, even if it scares the absolute crap out of me, which it does. And whenever because I watch a lot of inspiring things and I look up to a lot of people, and that gives me momentum to do what I want to do. So, pulling yourself out of that dark hole of self-doubt is really half the battle, if not 90% of the battle that you have to go every day. And honestly, I don't think, like, I'm not huge, okay? I'm not Grant Cardone level or, Oprah level or someone like this, right? I'm not that level. And, I truly believe, like, even if it got to that point, that this feeling doesn't go away. And I don't think you want that feeling to go away. That feeling that you're a little bit scared, you're a little bit afraid of what's to come next. You don't really quite know what you're doing. If that feeling ever went away, I mean, what would you be left with? I personally think it would be kind of like boring. And this was another, boredom is such an issue. It's such an epidemic. It's what led me to start doing drugs and start drinking every weekend. It's what led me to doing ridiculous shit just to entertain myself and my friends. Like, it wasn't so much, I want to do drugs. It was like, and I'm only inspired right now to be talking about, I'm only inspired to be talking about that because I just watched like that interview and Grant's like so open about it. I'm really not that open about it. So, it is boredom. It's total boredom. I came from a city which is small. I came from, there isn't that much to do. I mean, places close early, there's nothing really to go out, and there's no clubs unless you go into the city. So it was like drugs and drinking and partying and these big parties with no structure, with no security, which means you can get away with doing a lot more. I just started doing that because, well, it was fun and it's something to do. And if your friends start doing it or there's people that are doing it, I mean, you just go down that hole. It's not, it's really inevitable. I mean, I feel like I was lucky because there's country towns in, hey, what's up? There's country towns like in Australia, especially, where drugs are a massive problem. So, even in a town which isn't that rural, it's a massive issue. And I can't believe the experiences that I had going down that path. I mean, I would never regret it. Never, never, ever regret it. Even though, there were times where I was on drugs for days. Like, I remember being up for Adelaide. I'm from Adelaide. What's up, Jake? And this is really one of those moments that when there's those memories that you can't get rid of. This was one of them, and it was like I was up for 3 days. 3 days on one of like the worst drugs that you could possibly take, in my personal opinion, which causes you to not hallucinate, but your sleep deprivation. It's really the sleep deprivation that makes you really go down that horrible path of imagining things, or paranoia, or thinking, oh, is there someone in the house? Like, what are people thinking about? Like, it kills your self-esteem. And there was this one moment, I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm holding like a knife, and I'm like terrified, like just bawling my eyes out. And there's nothing, there's absolutely nothing. But because I remember my mum coming out, and I think the older you get, you just think, wow, like the trauma that you've caused your parents is crazy. Like, I think about it all the time. I'm like, even imagine being a mum, walking out and seeing your daughter just standing in the kitchen crying, like, holding a knife. Or, I've woken up in hospital before. I mean, you know what? My story is not really out there, so I hope you guys don't mind me sharing. I don't usually do this. So, or my mum like coming to the hospital after drinking like way too much, and having to go to hospital. Or this was another moment for me when I'm hanging off a 6-story building. I don't remember any of this, right? I'm hanging off a 6-story building, and my dad is literally just watching from the apartment and could not do anything. I was blackout drunk, and the next day he tells me what happened, and I was just like, holy shit, like, am I going to keep going down this path? And I mean, the reason I'm talking about this is because the subject today is about humor. And I want to tell you, like, my life, your friend's life, family, there is so much darkness, so much pain, so many emotions that we have to deal with on a daily basis that we are coping with, okay? And if you don't understand that before going into a social situation or meeting new people, you're way behind on what really true connection is. Because true connection is understanding that every single person has a story. Might not be just like yours. It might be just like yours. I'm sharing this with you because I don't share it enough. And I can tell because I'm getting emotional. I don't share it enough because what happens is you get afraid of what people are going to think of you. Can someone relate to this? Is anyone even going to be able to relate to this? Right? Like, the judgment is massive. And also, I don't like to admit it, but I'm seriously just triggered by people really pushing on the fact, like, oh yeah, teach people to go have fun, teach people to be playful, like teach people to connect. Like, people saying, oh, that's stupid. I'm like, the fact that you have that opinion is just crazy, because this is what gets people out of wanting to kill themselves. Like, this is what gets people out of staying down that dark path of not fulfilling their potential and not getting out there. So, it's more a process of me saying, Sarah, push through the resistance. I mean, one of my favorite books is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And, it talks about resistance and talks about this exact thing. The hate comments, for any of you that put content out there, I mean, you're going to get hate. You're going to get people saying, don't do it. And it's just like, it's your battle to push through that resistance. And it's something that I have to do more. Like people say, if you compare yourself, like people go, Sarah, you do so much, like you should slow down, you should have a break. And I'm like, I'm barely doing anything. I feel like I'm not doing enough at all. And then I listen to that. And so I stop producing, I stop being creative. And then what happens to me? I feel like shit. I feel like, oh, why am I not doing something? So, the reason I'm talking about this is because, for the people that think it's stupid, for the people that don't see the value in bringing humor into a conversation, that's what I want to talk about today. Because it's not just, okay, we had a tough week going to work. It's all of that shit that's underneath. It's all of that crap that we're constantly thinking about. We don't show to the outside world, especially when we socialize. You're generally not going to go out and meet a total stranger or hang out with your friends and bring your negative energy in, right? Don't bring the negative energy in. And so what I teach is exactly how to bring both together. And I know this sounds crazy and people are always like, that doesn't make sense. But when you learn the art of bringing playfulness into socializing and bringing that humor in with illogical topics, with funny everyday topics or familiar pains that people have, and you deliver it in a playful way of humor with them, they love you, they connect with you, they relate with you, your rapport is built with them. Like, it is one of the probably most advanced skill sets that you could possibly train yourself in this day and age, because we are not trained how to do that in school. Unless you went through a life where you really were almost forced into a position where you learned this skill set, then there is no way that you've learned it in the right way. And it has power. And from the outside, it's you can't see that power. Again, what was the book I'm reading? The 48 Laws of Power. I'm telling you, like, this is one of my favorites. I think I've said it like 3 times now on like 3 different platforms. Okay, Law 21 is totally epic. Okay, like Law 21, where it says, oh god, I'm gonna get this wrong on it. It's like okay, it's like play the sucker to catch the sucker. Now, that's in relation to negotiation a lot of the time, but if you make somebody else feel the power, feel the position of control in a conversation, I mean, they love that. And if you also play on this other side, people never want to look like an idiot. People never want to be made fun of. Okay, people never want others to laugh at them. And so if you put yourself strategically in the position where everyone's laughing at you, what happens? I mean, you get the respect of other people. Like, immediately you get the engagement. And I say this with confidence because I've tested this. I mean, I do it every single day. I even went out with someone yesterday, and I was just myself, like, and you know what? Myself is fucking weird. I'm fucking weird. Yeah. And I bet you there's other people that are out there that are weird. And I'm just gonna be open. Ryan, according to Law 21, if you make other people feel smarter than you by making yourself out to be naive or slow-witted by comparison, they let down their guard and fail to be suspicious of your motives. That's a much better explanation. and yes, and this is to do with power, okay? When it comes to socializing, when you take that same mentality, that same mindset, and put it into a conversation, just watch how magnetic your personality becomes. Like, just watch how people treat you differently. Just watch how people go out of their way to make sure you're included in a conversation. It's remarkable. And you're the one that's acting like an idiot. And what I was saying just then is like, yeah, okay, I am really weird. And I was hanging out with this person yesterday, and for so many years, I used to try and hide the fact that I make faces, that I make funny sounds, or I get excited about things which most people, especially adults, we lose that excitement for. We went to the park, we saw all of these birds, and I'm like, oh, like, I'm excited about it. And, I put a lot of value on stupid things. Like, people would view it as, why waste your time even having a conversation about that? And that's when they respect you the most. Like, they respect you the most. So bringing humor in and making it lighthearted isn't only a communication skill. It's not only a negotiation skill. It actually makes it easier for you to be yourself. if I tried to be serious all the time and I tried to hide myself, like, it would feel forced. People would they wouldn't know why. Okay, this happens a lot. They wouldn't know why, yet they wouldn't feel that they could be themselves because I wasn't being myself. So the more aligned I am with that, the more people open up. They're not suspicious. They're very trusting of me, and we have the best experiences ever. Think about this. You might even have a friend, or you might have experienced this yourself. Okay, you go on a holiday or you go and do something really cool, a new experience, and then you come back and maybe you got some photos of it. You show your family, your friends. They're like, "Wow, looks amazing," and you probably automatically respond like, "Yeah, it was a good trip." And then if we actually went on the trip, we've all had a trip like this. Okay, we had an experience where it wasn't that fun. It was actually really crappy. You had lots of fights with whoever it was that you were on the holiday with. You cried. There was drama. Da, da, da. But you don't talk about that when you get back. Unless it's with your close friends. You just see the photos, or you just see, oh, it looks amazing from the outside, instead of the really inner workings of what happened there. Okay, so I always talk about the quality and the substance of a conversation, and that's what's most important. So somebody could, this is my experience, right? I remember seeing this girl on Facebook in my community, and when I was growing up. Okay, this is a while ago. I was growing up, and she just seems so cool. Like, she's always posting on social media. She's always with like different people, new people, and she seems cool. So immediately I was like, wow, that'd be so cool to hang out. Like, I bet they have so much fun. I always see these hilarious videos of people like singing or dancing and having fun. And one day my opportunity came. My opportunity to actually be hanging out with her, and I was shocked at how not fun it was, how forced, ingenuine it was, and how it was not done for the moment or the authenticity of connection. It was just done as a very surface level activity. Like, she posted things after us hanging out, but then I would look at them when I was back home and just go, that moment really wasn't that fun. Like, she wasn't even getting involved, or she wasn't even participating. And then after that, I really learned, hey, even though you feel like you're missing out, not being in a particular friendship or not being friends with a certain person, like, actually, my sister said something really powerful to me the other day. I was like, oh, why would you want to do that? She's like, there's a group of friends which I perceive as just really boring, and they're not doing something fun, and it's not engaging. And then she said, oh, well, maybe for them it is. And I want to make that, I want to make that a point, because it may be engaging for them, for that group, but you've got to stay true to you. Like, if you're bored and it's not fun and you're hanging out with them, then they're not the friends for you. They're not the ones that are relatable for you, and you're not going to flourish. You're not going to, fulfill what you want to do. I was actually talking to another friend, and, she's going through a tough time right now with having to eliminate toxic people out of her life. And it's not comfortable, especially if you're somebody that wants to be collaborative with others. Like, it's not comfortable to have to cut people out. It's not designed to be comfortable, but it's necessary. It's necessary for you to actually start feeling the best that you can feel. And what humor does is it not only allows the conversation to feel more lighthearted, the relationships to feel more lighthearted, you can actually share more of who that person is. And that's why the confidence goes up. Because, like anything, you're always scared in your head before you do it. Once you do that one thing which is hilarious, and for me, I'll meow, or I'll be like, I'll make a face. For so long I was terrified to look ugly. For so long I was terrified to scrunch my face up. And then suddenly I was like, what? Why am I going to be afraid of that? If I'm going to meet somebody and they see me always being serious, they never see me scrunch my face up, what's going to happen the day that I do scrunch my face up, I do meow like a cat, I do sing? I'm going to feel that judgment 10 times more than if I just start like that from the beginning. And so I always say this to my clients: go in strong. go in strong, like exaggerate whatever the thing is that you're going to say or the action that you're going to do, because it's better to go in like that and really commit to it. That's how you get the respect and the right engagement and connection from another person, versus just going in there and second guessing or retracting the comment of what you're saying. Or, I mean, I always say, imagine if I went in and I meowed, but I retracted the meow because I didn't get the validation I wanted. I would be meowing for the wrong reasons, okay, unless I did it in a playful way. Like, I just use this because it's very simple, okay? So if I meowed at 100% commitment versus if I went, yeah, yeah, like there's no commitment there. People probably wouldn't even hear me do that. They probably look at me like, are they saying something, or what is she doing? If I go more than that and I really engage with them, I'm like, meow, like I mean the meow, 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 like I'm really meaning the meow to them. You know, they can't help but respond or to laugh or to giggle. Now, what that does is it changes somebody's emotional state. And that's what's so powerful about this, is if you can change their emotional state, then you can actually start to get to know them on a different level. If you don't, then they keep the wall up. So the whole idea is you want to get somebody's wall down in a positive way, because you can let yours down. You can actually have more deeper experiences with somebody, which is what we want. I mean, we are just lacking that across the board. We now, what's great about the internet is we can literally tune in with each other. And because of time, I'm going to answer some little comments, things on the side here, because I haven't really been looking at them. I've been totally focused. I mean, if you guys like videos like this, I need to do more on YouTube, and I know this, and I will be doing more on here. Every time I get on here, I always enjoy it. So, you know, if you want to be more a part of like the inner group of people that I talk to, I do lives with, I do, you know, exclusive videos for actual personal questions. Like if you have a personal problem that you're dealing with, or a personal issue that's coming up for you, like they're the type of videos that I create only for that Facebook group. So if you do want to be a part of that, it's called Female Psychology Secrets on there at the moment, and you can just Google it and you apply for it, because, you know, I don't really like people in there that aren't serious, and I don't want all these haters in there, because haters, or hecklers as we would call them in if you're speaking from stage, you call them hecklers, is they're really not there to learn from you. They're really not there, you know, if they don't believe in your message, you know, and they're not open to hearing a message, then they just cause issues for other people that are wanting to learn, from other people that are wanting to learn from what you're saying, or just being vulnerable and sharing. You know, if there's hecklers in the room, people don't feel that they can be 100% honest about how they feel. So they keep the wall up as well. So it really filters not only into a one-on-one interaction with somebody, but into groups or into work or into, you know, an audience and a speaker. It filters out absolutely everywhere, because trust and rapport are the two things that are most important when it comes to human connection. So thanks for the authenticity. Thank you. Glad you're opening up, Sarah. I really didn't expect that. You know, the more that I do seminars myself, the more in touch I get with how people that I work with are feeling too. You know, because one of the things that scares me, I don't want to stop doing seminars. I don't want to stop doing workshops and become unrelatable to my clients or to the people that I get to work with, because the more that you understand how to access your emotional, to me, it's emotional power. People like it's emotional pain in some way. It's these reminders of, hey, don't stop, you should be doing this. Like, you know, don't allow somebody to put you off your path. Often people that push you are really just giving you momentum or getting you to misdirect your trajectory. So if you feel strongly about it, you have to push that back and say, no, I'm definitely doing this. Because it's very easy, and this is why in socializing, when you're a leader, people listen to you. Most people are looking for a leader. Most people are terrified to lead their own life. Like, that's a reality. Most people are terrified to lead their own life, and it's easier and safer and more secure to follow somebody else's lead, because the leader is the first person. If you think about, you know, going into battle, the leader, you know, really gives the confidence to the entire battalion, the entire army to move forward, because if they're moving forward, then okay, we're doing this. You know, it gives the masses power. And most people are terrified to step up to their leadership potential. And you have it. You have it. Even us, the top people in the world that are, perceived as the leaders leading the future of the world, like, they're still sort of have that tiny little bit of self-doubt within potentially, and they're like, oh, like, it's the self-belief, which is one of the biggest problems of why I truly believe people don't fulfill on their potential. It's something that I battle with as well, and I have to face it every day and then tell it, hey, I'm still going to do this. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, do you have those experiences? Do you have those moments where you know that you can do it, and then somebody doubts you and you go, oh, maybe I can't do it? Glad I made it, was about to close my eyes. Oh, Brandon, where are you? What country? Glad you have overcome. Thank you. Hey, Fabian, what's up? From Paris. I can't believe, I'm thinking about spending more time here in the UK next year. And I was like, oh my God, Paris is only 2 hours from here. That's amazing. On a train. No, I don't mind. Thanks for being able to share. True, there is. Glad you're opening up, Sarah. Doing great. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for the authenticity. Is this your first live? It is the first one that I've seen. No, I've actually done a few. You can go onto my videos on my YouTube. There's a couple of lives. I mean, I really like doing lives because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I was going to get on here and just do some stupid stuff and talk about humor. And then, I just got, I don't know, super deep at the beginning there, because really humor is one of those things that it's not always stemmed from laughter and happiness. Who was I talking about the other day? Robin Williams. He made so many people laugh. He made so many people happy. Underneath it, he was actually really depressed and really sad and really lonely. And so humor and depression and sadness, they have a very close relationship. And so that's why making things funny or playful in conversation about real stuff, it allows us to let some of that out, and it allows us to let go a little bit and relax. So it is really powerful. Hey, thank you, Sarah. Good upgrade to stream video quality. Thank you. I feel like I have so many issues with video quality when I stream, and it's one of the excuses that I use to not do it. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be pixelated. It's gonna be crappy. So I have to make sure that I get good Wi-Fi, or that I get good internet connection. Just want to thank you for everything. Thank you. I wish it was mandatory in school. Yeah. Well, you know what's happening, and I think it's really exciting, is the e-learning platform is going to absolutely skyrocket in the next couple of years, and it's going to become like it's like $275 billion industry, e-learning. So people, look, if schools aren't doing it, it's happening regardless. I mean, this movement is happening regardless. This self-learning and getting the information that we feel we aren't getting, it is just ridiculously taking off. And one of the coolest things is you have something to actually teach another person, and we're being given that platform to share. And I think that's what's so powerful about the future. According to that, to play along, don't you lose value when you are the one being laughed at? No, I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions, is if you're the one being laughed at, that you lose power. You're the one with the power. You have all the eyes on you, which if we were looking at marketing, that's the power right there. You have all the eyes on you. Now you have the capacity to stand up and to lead that group, or to be ridiculed. So I think I think the value is taken from you if you choose to feel this embarrassment. If you choose to feel embarrassed, if you choose to allow the fact that they're laughing to be at you instead of with you, then you lose your power, because you lose your confidence. Yet if you see that someone's laughing at you, I mean, this has happened to me multiple times. Or if you trip over, okay, this is one example. You trip over, or you stumble, and somebody laughs at you. You can either go, that's super embarrassing, and like walk off, which is you shaming yourself, self-pitying yourself, like, oh, like taking it personally, being embarrassed. Or you trip and then you see someone laugh at you, you go, that was close. I nearly face planted. That was like, I felt that. I felt it's like that moment when you go down the roller coaster, you use it as an opportunity to actually open and connect with that person. And that comes from really not only knowing this stuff, but also working on your self-confidence and going out and having so many experiences of being laughed at, and transferring that being laughed at to your power, to your leadership, that you realize no, imperfect moment is bad. if anything, you want the imperfect moments and the funny, spilling your coffee on you or having somebody do something which wasn't planned in a social setting. They're actually the best possible scenarios that you can have. So really rolling with them and knowing how to lead them. I think that's the biggest skill you have to learn, is knowing how to lead them. And that's something that I show people how to do, is how to lead a playful interaction. Okay, that's really the element of this which is the hardest for people to grasp, but it's an easy process that so many people, once you get it, you're like, oh yeah, you almost get into a rhythm. And so every situation is different, yet the same. Every situation is different, yet when you use this process, it just makes it easy. It doesn't matter, whether it's a high pressure situation at school, just socializing with people at work, an interview, it really doesn't matter. It's just a slightly different environment, same process. So that's why I love teaching this. That's why I love showing people how to start to use this and implement it. And I did get pretty deep in this session. If you guys enjoyed it, please let me know and leave your comments. I am thinking about doing another My Story video, because I think the one that I had is gone. So there isn't really many stories, many videos that go deep into what I spoke about at the beginning of this. So if you are enjoying it, please let me know, because that helps others and that lets them know. And if you want to be a part of that inner group, then also comment, let me know. I'll put the link to apply to that Facebook group in the description as well. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And thank you for the support. For those of you that are supporting me, seriously, it gives me the power and the confidence to even get up here and broadcast myself out. There's moments where I procrastinate, and I'm glad that I didn't do that today. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.